Hey guys, it's VS here once again. Today I have a Scar M.O.A.B on Interchange. M.O.A.B on Interchange, yes that's right. So, to start off, what is the first thing you think of when you hear the word Interchange? I'm guessing for a lot of you it's either being spawn trapped today or spawn trapping today, one or the other. But that's not really the case for this game. There wasn't too much spawn trapping. There was a little bit right here in the beginning. As you can see, I'm kind of in their spawn. I'm doing what a lot of people do when they're getting the fast MOABs and Interchange, but it doesn't last long because I believe a teammate pushes in and flips the spawns. And that was kind of one of the problems I was having with this game, is the teammates wouldn't listen, but it's probably because they couldn't hear me. I'm hoping at least. But, you know, it happens. That's kind of the I don't know if it's an issue, but it's kind of what happens when you're playing with randoms that you don't know. Half the time they're not going to listen to you, or over half the time really they won't listen to you, either because they can't hear you or just because they don't care and they don't want to listen to some random person on the internet. And I don't really blame them. I guess I probably wouldn't listen to somebody if they're trying to direct me. It kind of depends on how good the person is, I guess. But I do gotta say that this game I did leave once, and I know that's probably a bad thing to say, but that's kind of one of the things that, one of the unforeseen truths of YouTube commentators. You're gonna rage quit a lot, I guess, and not everybody's like that. And I try to keep it to a minimum. But if I get flustered, then I guess I kind of back out pretty quick. When I'm just trying to play for fun, I don't back out. I just play for fun. So yeah, that's about that. But I did back out of this game once, and then searching for a new game pushed me right back in, and I started my streak when I rejoined the game, so I just went with it, you know. I'm just like, well, when I was first rejoining, I was like, you know, maybe they'll put me on the other team so I don't got to deal with all the snipers and stuff, but they didn't end up doing that, unfortunately, and I just stayed in, and it's a good thing, too, because I picked up the MOAB, and yeah, so it was a good thing it pushed me back in, and I'm glad I stayed. It's not too slow of MOAB, but it's also not that fast a one. I think it's like 6 minutes-ish, 6:20, which isn't that fast in the day standards, but it's one I'm happy with because I was rushing around a lot, and yeah. So anyway, I need to get to the topic, which is the my favorite guns for this game, and my top 5, I guess, is what I'll go with. But I think I have like, they're kind of spread out through the classes, or, you know, assault rifles and submachine guns and stuff. So to start off, my favorite gun to run around with is, of course, the ACR, because of how good it is, how versatile, how much you can just tear people up with it. It's just a really solid gun, and it's really fun after specialists because you're just like an unstoppable beast. And, you know, unless you run to lag or some other bullcrap like death streaks or stealth bombers, which happens frequently for me. But yeah, that's my favorite gun to run around with. And the MP7 isn't too bad. It's not my choice. I'd always pick the ACR over the MP7. Well, I guess not always. I guess on smaller maps I'd pick MP7. But since I'm always going for games usually when I'm playing, I guess not always, but for the majority of the time I'm going for games, and I know that people don't like seeing ACRs and MP7 games as much. So I try and keep those to a minimum. There are a few exceptions lately. That is because of, I've kind of been trying to go for my own double MOAB, my first double MOAB. I haven't gotten one yet, but I've been going for one. After realizing that I came close on one game, I was only like 5 off, I think, and I didn't realize it while I was doing the game. But after rewatching it in theater, I realized it was really close to a double, so I thought I could do it, and I've kind of been trying to do that, and it's resulted in a couple single ACR MOABs, so you might see a couple of those posted in the near future, which, yeah, so I need to get back to the topic, though. My overall favorite gun, I think, is the RSASS, which some of you might be wondering why. I don't run around with it that much, but it's just a really fun gun, you know. It's like, I think, a 2-shot. It's kind of been weakened since one of the nerfs lately. I don't know why. It wasn't that good of a gun. It was really slow to run around with, and, you know, the MK14 kind of outclasses it, really. Except for the fact that you can't have a scope on the MK14, but now the MK14 is better unless you like the scope, which most people, when they're playing with the RSASS, they put the ACOG on it so that it's more like an MK14. That's probably why you don't see too many RSASS games, and yeah, but I like it. I don't exactly know why. I've kind of always liked it. I guess I kind of like guns that aren't used quite as much, and that's kind of why I like the MP5 and stuff. They're not always the best guns, but I like running around with guns that people don't use that often. However, that does put me at a serious disadvantage quite often, because people have better guns and can outshoot me, or just outdo me because they have the better gun. And yeah, so that's my top favorite gun, is the RSASS. My second is probably the MP5 or the M.O.A.B 45. Those are both really good submachine guns. I guess the MP5 is not that good of a submachine gun. The M.O.A.B outclasses it. But I like running around with it, especially in search, because you don't have to rely on the gun that much. So yeah, I'll use the MP5 in search and destroy sometimes, or the M.O.A.B when I'm doing domination on smaller maps, because it's kind of what I use in place of the MP7. Because it's a little funner to watch. It's not as good of a gun as an MP7, but it's still a pretty solid gun, especially after the specialist, and you have like the silencer and extended mags, what I usually run. And then you get the kick proficiency and all the others with the specialist bonus. So it's just a really solid gun. And yeah, so this game's wrapping up pretty fast. I'll quickly say the names of my other two guns and touch on them in the next episode. And that is the KSG-12 and I guess the MSR probably, or the SCAR-L or something like that. So I'll get to that in the next game. If you liked the video, like it, and of course if you didn't, dislike it. Feedback's always appreciated. But until next video, have a nice day or time, and yeah, I'll catch y'all later.